What's going on, guys? Ninja Shot here from Ninja Taco Productions, or NTP, and I'm here with a special video today. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make statues. Like, I'm going to be teaching you the method on how to produce statues yourself. So by the end of this tutorial, if I've explained everything correctly, then you should be able to make them yourself if you wanted to. Alright, why am I doing this? What's the driving force behind this? Well, I just want to help you guys out. I want you guys to understand how to make this, so if you want to make this, you can. You know, if you want to make a skin that's not on YouTube already, if there's not a tutorial for it, you can make it. Or if there's a YouTuber that's doing it too slow, you know, then you can make it faster. You can say, screw it, I'm going to do it better. I'm going to do it my way. Or you could do YouTube yourself. You could actually, you know, do the complete opposite and just make YouTube videos yourself and start doing tutorials for yourself. So this could be that video that you watch that's like, it sparks inspiration for you to start your own channel and start making statues yourself, because it's not that hard. Alright? Thing about statues, guys, the one important thing is that anyone can do it. Alright? Anyone at all can make statues. Anyone. I've seen kids that weren't even 10 years old, and they had worlds like filled with like 50+ statues. And they all look like Steve here. They all looked, you know, they're all up to height, they're all up to scale, and, you know, they were made right. And some of them weren't even tutorials, you know. Some of them just, you know, did it right because they understood how to make them. Something that's another reason why, you know, like I said, I want to teach you. I realized that a lot of tutorial lists on YouTube, they really don't teach you how to make this stuff, right? They don't teach you how to make these things. Like, you know, bear with me here. You're looking for something on YouTube, right? You're looking for, you want to make this YouTuber a skin. Let's just say, this skin, or this YouTuber, right? Let's say a YouTuber. Let's say a YouTuber. You're trying to make this YouTuber, right? You find this person, you find this other YouTuber who's making that YouTuber you want to make, right? And the video is like 30 or 40 minutes long. It's a ridiculous amount of time, right? It's like an episode of something on TV, you know, or online. Because those are only like 20 minutes. This is like twice as long as that. So you find this tutorial. What are you going to do? You know, if it's that long, this is a tutorial where you're building it block by block, right? The person's building it block by block for you. So what are you going to do? We're going to watch it. You're going to watch and build it, and you're going to pause it. And then usually you're going to have Minecraft, you know, up next to you, and then you're going to build what they're building. You know, you're going to build what they just built. You're gonna, you know, then you're gonna go back to the video, unpause it, and watch it. Then you're gonna pause it again after a certain point, and then build what they just did again. And you're gonna do that over and over. Excuse me, guys. You're gonna do that over and over, and it's gonna take you 2-3 times what the video is. It's gonna take you like hours to make one statue, guys. I can tell you from experience. Okay, it should not take you that long ever to make something like that. People who say they get through a couple statues a day, like, you know, yeah, that's after you do, like, you know, a couple hours. But if you know what you're doing, like Steve here, you make Steve in like 5 minutes. I'm not kidding. Steve is very easy. You start with Steve. Steve here, I can make in 5 minutes because, I mean, I've got him memorized because I've made him so many times, guys. Not just in this video, but in other ones. He's been made a lot by me. But yeah, it's ridiculous that you should take so long to make one thing. And think about it. By the end, what have you learned? You've learned how to copy and paste what someone else has done, what someone just put right in front of you. You haven't learned how to make that thing. If it got destroyed, you'd have to watch the video again to learn how to make it. You know, you'd have to watch that again. I mean, you know, you'd have to figure out how to make it again. You have to watch the whole thing. It would take you hours again to figure out how to do it. By enough times, you might finally realize, slowly, like, oh, okay, that's how it's supposed to be, but usually, that stuff's just spoon-fed to you. You don't really learn how to make it, you know? So, I want to teach you guys a faster and alternative way to do it, so you don't ever have to come back to YouTube again. You don't have to come back to this channel. I don't care if you know, learn how to do this stuff and you never come back. You know, I'm not in it for views. I'm not in it for views at all, because, you know, I never intended on becoming a big YouTuber in the first place. It's not really It's not what I expected. If it happens, then, you know, I'll jump on it. I'll take it. You know, it happens. And I'll just say, well, I guess it's fated that I was supposed to do YouTube. But, because it is fun. I really enjoy the hobby. But, I'm not expecting to make, like, big bucks out of it or something. I'm not expecting to get rich or, become famous through it. But if it happens, you know, I'm not going to turn it down. I'm not going to be stupid and be like, oh, I don't want fame. Because fame would be pretty cool. But, yeah. I'm not in for that. So, if you learn how to make statues and then you leave, I'm not going to be hurt. I will just say, go do it, man. Go make all the worlds filled with statues that you can, you know. Because anyone, like I said earlier, anyone can do it, guys. Anyone at all. It's not hard. And by the end of this video, you should understand how not hard it is. That's a very weird sentence, I know, but that it is what it is now. So, let's get into this, shall we? Let's get into this. So, first off, before I start on all of these, there are 5 sections that I have created here that I will go through one by one and go through very definitively. And at the very end, I'll give a little bit extra talk on a little bit more of advanced stuff. You know, I don't have examples of the quote-unquote like advanced stuff, but yeah, I'm not really going to go into it very much. I'm just going to kind of show it and explain it. I'm not going to have visual examples like I do here for these, so don't expect me to go into that. This is just the basics, and it's just the stuff you need to know. Like, if you know this stuff, you can literally take all of these rules and all of these things you've learned here, and you can just, you know, start making stuff. So, also, I'm going to do it one by one, so there's going to be like little cuts, and there's going to be a little timetable in the description, so if you need to go back to the beginning of something, or if you want to look at something else, like you're like, oh, I want to go back to like this time, then I'll have a timetable in the description so that you can click on it, or look at it and go to that time in the video, so that that's where that section starts. Alright? So check the description for the timetable if you want to skip to a certain part or whatever. So there you go. But this is the first part. This is the first thing that you need to realize when you're making a skin, alright? That every statue has 3 main parts. The legs, the torso, and the head. 3 main tiers. So, when you start building one, you finish, you move on to the next one. You build on that, you finish it, you move on to the next one. Easiest way to envision it, and easiest way to build it. It's not something that's like a huge rule, but it's a great way to envision how to build this thing. So, this is the first part, not like a big deal. So, moving on to the second part. And now we're here with the second part. This is the dimensions. This is the very important thing to remember, alright? If there is one thing I want you to remember, it is the dimensions, everyone. Because every single skin, let me say that again, every single skin, guys, will have these dimensions. Every single one. You know, excluding more advanced stuff. Basic skins, PC skins, YouTubers, older Xbox skins, all of them. Even custom skins that you may eventually end up making. Like, all of them will have this basic layout, alright? So, what is this basic layout? Well, we're going to go ahead and get our, we're going to go to the credits. We're going to get our hand and HUD here. We're going to count. So, here are the legs. So, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on this end. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 on this end. We'll go ahead and color these just because they're colored up there. I think I meant to do this, though. We got 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 4 here. 1 in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get rid of this little guy. And then we have this here. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 8 by 4 by 12. Right? And that is length by width by height. See? That's the length over there. It's the width of the statue, and then it's 12 high. So those are the legs. Alright? And if you've been with me for a while, you've been on this channel for a while, you'll notice that those dimensions I say every single video. Because the thing is, the torso is the exact same thing as the legs. Right? Let's check it out. Right? We got the red, yellow, and the green. Is it the same dimensions? We don't know. But let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That checks out. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not very hard to check out, but, you know, we did it anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and look at that, 12. So that again is 8 by 4 by 12. The same thing as the legs, right? And the arms here, they are usually attached. I'll go ahead and hop over this wall and cheat a little bit. They're either attached or aligned to the torso, as you can see here. They're like right next to it, right? And they are 4 by 4 by 12. We'll count this just to humor ourselves. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So 4 by 4 by 12, right? And there's 2 of them. And then the head here, as the red implies, this is an 8 by 8 by 8 cube, right? We'll just count it to verify that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's fine too. And this is actually, you know, a layer here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and look at that, 8. A perfect cube, right? On all sides, you know, you just bring it all around, and that's it. So again, legs are 8 by 4 by 12. The torso is 8 by 4 by 12. Both arms, they're exactly the same, and they are 4 by 4 by 12, you know, and they just go along with the torso. And the head there is 8 by 8 by 8. Those dimensions you should remember, guys. It's like the golden rule, right? Remember that. Again, every skin will have those dimensions, okay? Every single one. Every skin on PC, YouTube, or anything. Older skins on Xbox, maybe older skins on PlayStation. I don't know because I haven't seen the PlayStation skins. And of course, when you're designing your own stuff, they should be based around this. This, like, golden rule of dimensions. If you forget, I always have it in the description of videos, and I always say it. Just so it'll probably get annoying, but yeah. The reason why I say it, by the way, is because if people are seeing that video for the first time, they don't know the dimensions, I help them learn over time. So people who have been with our channel for a while, you may have learned this over time. It's like something that's harped. It's almost like I have my own way of saying it. I've said it so much. It's just ridiculous. But alright. That's it for the second part, guys. On to the third part. Here's the third part, everyone. This is the hat effect. Alright. Now, first off, before we get to the hat effect, the placement of the head on the body. It's pretty obvious, but we'll just talk about it anyway. So, since the body, you know, is only 4 wide, you know, it's 4 wide going this way, it will come out 2 on the front and on the back, right? And if you want to make sure that your head is actually placed properly, you can check both of your shoulders. I'm only going to make one of them here. But, I mean, you can check both of your shoulders, and both shoulders should have this little 4 by 4 square, right? Should be on 4 on all sides. It's 4 by 4 square on each side, and that should be his shoulder. I've only, you know, made it smaller, and, you know, because of space issues with the rest of the beheaded heads over here. So hat effect is something that can only appear on a head. Hence, that's why we call it hat effect. It's a term that we invented. I guess we coined. We made it up here on the channel, and it's used to describe what's happening with my glasses there and his actual hat. Sometimes it is an actual hat, sometimes it's not a hat, as you can see there, but it's referred to as the hat effect. The hat effect is something where there's like an extra block that can come out 1 on any side of the head, but only 1. It can only come out 1. It can't come out any more. Not 2, not 3, it can be 0, but it's either 1 or none, right? 1 or none. Hat effect, 1 or none. It can't come out any more. Like that hat can't be any bigger. Nothing like that. Alright, it can, but that's when we start getting into custom stuff, and yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to advanced things. But for now, for the basics, for the rules, you can only come out 1, right? Only 1. And it can be on the front, back, either side, top, and on the bottom. Which I'll get to that when I get to the girl. So let's show my face. You know, this is my skin's head. This is Gordon Freeman. This is Ninja Shot. So you can see my glasses, they come out 1 at the front, right? But not on either side. Not on either side, to the top there, and in the back. As you can see, there's nothing there. So, that's me. Just have a hat effect in the front. These other 2 I customly made just to show. So, you know, girl doesn't have one on either side, front, or on the top, but she does in the back. She has a ponytail here, and it comes out 1 in the back, and it comes 1 down. this is what I was talking about. When it comes one down, it's usually either in the front or in the back, as you can see here. If it's in the back, it's usually stuff like ponytails. If it's in the front, it's usually like beards or goatees. That beard doesn't look very good on a little girl or a woman or whatever, so I don't think a beard or a goatee would look very good on her. But yeah, so the hat effect can either come down. If it's on the sides, it doesn't really work because it's on the side of the head and it touches the shoulder, so it kind of cancels out. It can't really go down, so that's why I'm saying it's either on the back or on the front. But yes, that's where it usually will go, quote-unquote, down. So, but yes, her hat effect's on the back, and it goes down one. And for this guy, he just has a hat that literally goes all the way around, and one on the top, as you can see, because the rest of the heads are aligned, and this one is actually one taller. In fact, if we were to take away this extra layer here, hide it from view, you know, we come down here, the hat actually looks really weird. You know, it actually looked kind of strange. It looked a lot better, didn't it, when it had that extra layer? Well, that's why, you know, we can add extra stuff on top of it. Gotta fix it here, so we don't upset this man. I'm very sorry, sir, for your hat. I'm repairing it for you. There you go. Good as new. So, yes. But his hat effect, like I said earlier, can sometimes be literally a hat. Like, and when it's an actual hat, you know, more than not, you'll have it go all the way around like this. All sides, and the corners. The corners are usually not something that we advise to do. With brims of hats, it's okay. With something like when you're making a king, like say in the skim pack here, skim pack 1, where you have the king. See how his crown goes all the way around his head? If you have his crown have these corners, it actually looks really big. Like, it looks huge. So something that we do to help against that is we cut off the corners, right? If there's a hat effect that goes all the way around the head like that, like a crown or, I don't know, something of a similar nature, cut off the corners like this. It's a little tip. Cut off the corners and it will make it look a little bit smaller. That's also something that you can do with other hat effects of other skins that have really wicked hat effects, because there are some YouTubers or skins that there are some very wicked hat effects. And when you're starting off making statues, I can tell you from personal experience, from my experience, and from, you know, other members of NTP, the hat effect can be sometimes the hardest part. Alright, so take, you know, special note with these. It can come out on any side, top, bottom, both sides, front, back, and it only comes out one, right? One. Alright, now we're getting into detail. Detail's going to be over there, but something I want to mention about the heads right here is that sometimes, like you can see with mine and Steve, where both sides of the head can be the same. Alright? You might think, oh, that's fine. But when you get to this girl over here, it's customly made, you can see that both sides are actually different. Alright? See? Like, it doesn't have the same shape as over here. Thing is heads, they can have a different pattern all the way around on any side of their head. Any side at all, like front, back, both sides, and the top, all of them can have its own separate pattern. Alright, so all sides of the head can be different. That's what sometimes makes it so hard. Because hat effects, that's where hat effects really play a big role in this, is because when you get like different designs everywhere, you can have different hat effects that look very strange and odd, you know, and it really can throw you off, and that's what can make a build really hard and difficult. Alright? But there's slowly getting into detailing on heads. Now it's time for part 4, detailing with dual planing and stuff. Alright everyone, part 4, detailing with dual planing. So, dual planing is something that, it's another term that we came up with here on the channel, just as hat effect was. This is a term that describes what's going on right here, where there's two different colors, but they need to be on the same, you know, like, they need to be the same color, but they're different. Alright, this is actually my legs, like half of my legs here. You can see that in the front here, I had this darker orange, but on the side, in the same spot, it's actually lighter orange. I can show you this as my skin. If you look at the very front, you know, the bottom of my legs, it might be a little hard to see, I'm sorry if it is. You can see there's a little bit of a dark orange in there. It's not quite red, so, you know, it's just this dark orange. But if we turn me over to the side, you know, you can see here that it's a bright orange on the very side of me. You know, it's not the same, like these colors, they're not the same. So this is, you know, that color that's in the same spot as one another, That's what's called dual planing, when you have these colors that conflict with one another, where they're not the same. Actually, you can see it on my hands too, very clearly on my hands. You can see there's this red pattern that's on my hands there, and when we turn, it's gone. So it's like, how do you deal with that? You know, how do we deal with that pattern? Well, what we've come to realize is that usually it's the front and the back that's more important. So what you do is you want to focus on the front and the back, and that overrules any dual planing that's on the sides. Alright? So this red that's on my hand, it would obviously show on the side, but, since, it's dual planing, we may not want it to show that, but there's nothing really we can do. So we just have to show it anyway. Until we get something like sideways carpets, like wallpaper or something in Minecraft, we can't really fix it. We can't really change it. Like if we had orange wallpaper, we could make this orange on the side of this pumpkin block, and it would look, it would look just like my skin, right? Like it would have those features that is being taken away by this dual planing fix. So there's that. Dual planing, you know how to deal with it. Just make the front and the back. Focus on the sides last. Also, something you may have noticed is that both sides of my legs are the same. Both of these are exactly the same on both sides. They're just like mirrored. Like if we were to punch away this red block, directly in front of us is another red block, right? Let's just go and repair that. I don't know why I want to repair that. We'll just repair that. So let's look at my skin here, and we'll check this out. So let's look at the pattern on this side of my legs, right? Just look at that pattern, and if we turn it, it's the exact same on this side. The exact same. I didn't want to go to him just yet, but yeah. See, it's the exact same on both sides of my legs, right? We go to him now. We see there's like that little black pattern and stuff. We switch over. It's the same thing. This is true for every single skin. Bill here with his pockets, side of his pants, they're there on both sides. The hunter, same thing. Just these stripes. It's the same detailing. Excuse me. Yawning. Goodness. It's the same on both sides. And you'll notice that it's the exact same on the arms. We'll come back to me. Look at both of my arms, right? Both of the arms are exactly mirrored, alright? You know how the legs here, it's just mirrored across on the sides? The arms, they're that, but the whole thing. All four sides of the arms, or actually I should say three sides, because you can't really look at the fourth side, unless it's like floating outside the body. All three sides of the arm are the same. See both front? They're both the same. We look at both the sides of my arms. They're exactly the same, with the same detailing, like darkening in the same place. We look at the back, same thing. The exact same darkening, lighting, all that in the same place. On the back of me too. We look at him. Both sides of him are like this. They have the brown on both sides. You look at the front. They're the same. Look at the back. They're the same. The same thing for this guy. See how, on his arms it's got like that little part that goes down one. It's the same on both shoulders. Both shoulders look exactly the same. He's got the gloves in the same spot. The lining in the same spot. We go to the back. It's just the same. On both sides. He's got that little patch of hay on both shoulders that are in the exact same spot on both shoulders. Both parts of the shoulder. Alright? Same thing with the hunter. Stripes, same place. I mean, I could show you this for every single skin, but I shouldn't have to. I think I've given enough examples. So, what we've learned is that both sides of the legs are exactly the same, and both arms are completely the same. So when you're making the arms, if you can make one arm, you can make the other arm. If you can make one side of the leg, you can make the other side of the leg. Both sides are symmetrical, and they're mirrored. That's why in videos, when you'll say, I'll show one side, and I'll be like, alright guys, the other side is just mirrored right across, and I just go up to the next thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this side is the exact same as this side, and you should just copy it right over. Like when you're building this, say this is all gone. All of this is gone. Alright? You're going to grab your materials, which is stone. We already have the red. We need this. We need gray and light gray. Right? We don't need pumpkin because we're not going to be making pumpkin. But we're going to say, alright, so in this spot, we got stone. Next layer, right above that, we got gray. Right on that corner right there, we got this orange, and we have, or that red, and we got orange next to that. What's above that? We got two layers of orange. What's right there? We have the light gray that tops it off. And there you go. Then both sides are exactly mirrored just like that. That's how you do it. And you would do the same thing for the arms, like back and forth. Like if a pattern looks like this on one arm, you're going to mirror it right across and do it like this on the other. You know, just so it's doing the same thing on both sides. If it's making, you know, you're basically reflecting it. You're reflecting it over and reversing it. So if it's going to the left, now it's going to the right. You know, that it's that simple. Both arms are exactly the same, and both legs are exactly the same. They're mirrored. All right. Like I said, in advanced stuff or custom stuff, this stuff really gets really fuzzy, and we go outside the rules. But we'll, again, like I said, for the hat effects, that we'll talk about that at the end. So that is it for the detailing and stuff. Now it's time for the fifth and final part of these basic rules. Alright everyone, it is time for the fifth and the final part of the basic rules to building statues, and this is what materials to use. Alright, now we went through all of the special rules for detailing and the dimensioning, and now it's time for detailing with the correct colors, because there are correct things to use and there are incorrect things to use. Alright, we're going to focus on the correct ones first. So as you can see here, you know, thankfully we got stone and clay finally, but you might have more on Xbox One maybe, I don't know actually, because I don't have Xbox One yet, or you might have more on PC, so you might have more options, but these are the options that I have currently during this like current update on Xbox 360 Minecraft. So, you know, if this is outdated a little bit, then, you know, things might be a little different, you might have more options, but these are the only options I have right now. So, as you can see, we have all the colors of the wool and all the stained clay blocks, as well as the hardened clay blocks. That's kind of a given when you're thinking about colorful things. We also have the coal block, iron block, lapis lazuli block, redstone block, gold block, diamond block, and the emerald block. We also have the types of wood here. Birch wood planks, oak, spruce, and jungle wood planks. And we have jungle wood, spruce wood, oak wood. We do not have birch wood. I'll explain that when we get to it. We have gravel on a kind of rare-ish account, you know, because there's actually several different types of grays that you can use. So gravel isn't really something you want to just jump on, but it's still available to you. Stone's a pretty big one. Stone is a pretty you know, good material to use. Dirt's kind of like a last resort too. Not super important, not super great, but it's okay if you're in a pinch. You have a bunch of different grays, like with the woods. I thought I punched that at first. With the woods, you got like down there with the darker woods and actually brown, you know. You have a lot of different shades of brown, so you really shouldn't have to use dirt, but it's still there if you need it, kind of as a last resort. Sand here and sandstone, we used to use this for like skin. Now we use birchwood planks for that. You can also use mushroom blocks. I don't have that here because I didn't want to take the time to get mushroom blocks. Mushroom blocks, if you don't know, I will give you a very quick tutorial. You get a mushroom. Actually, this one might be better. I don't care. I'll just use that one because I like how that one looks better than the other one. Get a mushroom, and I can't place it for some reason. I don't know why. Why can't I place it? That's really strange to me. Well, this is like failure. So I don't know why I can't place it. Let's just do this. Can you do that? We can't do that. All right. So you're gonna place a mushroom down, all right? And you're going to grow it. Then you're going to go in, you know, survival mode. You're going to get on top of this, and you're going to use, like, some shears. I'm pretty sure it's shears. Oh, no, it's not shears. It's just it's a pick with, oh my goodness, why can't I think of it? It's the attribute that breaks off something, but it doesn't actually break the block. Oh my goodness. Everyone's screaming it right now to me in the comments, but I really can't think of it. It's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me. I gotta know, guys. It is Silk Touch. Thank you. Thank you. Jesus. I could not think of it. It was on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't think of it. It was gonna bother me a lot. So, you get a Silk Touch pickaxe. You just mine the very top of that, and you get mushroom blocks. You go back to the creative, you have them infinitely. I don't know why they're not with us right now, you know, in the menus or anything, but that's how you obtain them. And that's also another decent use for skin, for you know, making skin and stuff. You also have clay for different grays, snow for a brighter white. Obsidian was like an older black, but blocks of coal replaced that. So it was like your other substitute for black, but now it's just like a, you know, a last resort black. If coals of block doesn't look very well, or wow, blocks of coal. I said that completely backwards. Soul Sand's kind of an iffy one. We've only used it, I think, a couple times, and it's only been in like really rare situations. So Soul Sand's not really one you want to use a lot, but it's still, you know, okay if you really don't have enough browns. But like I said before, you have a lot of browns, even dirt. I'd use dirt before I'd use Soul Sand, but that's a darker brown, so I don't know. But that was back in the day. But Nether Brick is a very good dark red. You also have Nether Quartz, blocks of Nether Quartz. That's very good. Just a plain Nether Quartz block, not the chiseled one. It's not a big deal if you use like the chiseled one or the pillar one, but it's preferred if you just use the smooth one. Endstone's kind of like a last resort. Not last resort-ish, but you know, you should have other colors to replace its color, but it's still useful if you really need it. Melons are really good. Pumpkins are really good, as we saw earlier. Pro tip, if you're making something out of pumpkins, you can make it out of jack-o'-lanterns. They look exactly the same on all sides, but you just have to turn the head in. So, obviously you want to turn the head in so the face isn't showing. That's the key part, is when you're using pumpkins, have the head facing have the face facing, the inside, like the inward, but, like inward towards the middle of the statue. And you can use jack-o'-lanterns, because they look exactly the same, especially stacked on top of one another. But, in the night, your statues will glow. So if you use jack-o'-lanterns, they'll glow. Sponge is here for like no reason. We used him one time, and it was literally when we made SpongeBob. For a statue, we used Sponge to make SpongeBob. I mean, it seemed kind of, you know, ironic, and seemed like it should work. But other than that, other than making SpongeBob, I don't think you should really use Sponge. I really don't think you should use Sponge. But if you actually find a use for it, and you kind of like it, then it's up to you. I'm not, you know, your eye. It's just my personal eye. I don't find that Sponge is very good, but I put him here. It's like he's a real thing. I put Sponge here because he was a bad boy. Now I put Sponge here because we used him once, and I gave him that credit for that, so that's why he's here. Also, it wasn't discussed during the previous things, but you can in fact deal with dual planing on like the top of heads and stuff when it comes to carpet. You know, we can't deal with it when it comes to like on the sides of things because we don't have like a wallpaper or anything, but we do have carpets. So if there's any dual planing on top of like a head or some shoulders, this is your only resort to fixing that, to making it look at least a little bit better or closer to those colors if you feel the need to be. We do, just because we're kind of neat freaks when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, all the different colors of carpet are at your disposal as well. So those are all ones that are good. Now it's time for ones that are bad. So first off, I should say, what makes these bad versus these good? Well, if we back up really far, you'll notice that these textures, they don't really go away when you back up far enough. If you look at the left side, you'll see that a lot of the textures have kind of, they've gone away by now. You know, they blend in. They just become a single solid color. On the other side, you can see other colors mixing with them, and, you know, it kind of meshes all together. When you put a whole bunch of those together in a statue, it looks like all those colors mesh together even more, and it looks not very good. It looks really bad, actually, because those other colors, they pop out more than the color you want, you know, because they have different colors on them. Over there, it's more like just one plain thing. So that's why these are really bad, and we'll go through why they're bad. So obviously, this should be a given. All the ores, they have all their textures popping out of the stone. These are building blocks. Don't use building blocks. Brick, stone brick, mossy brick, chiseled brick, cracked bricks, or silverfish blocks. Don't get them confused with stone. Do not put silverfish stone in your statues, because when you're breaking them, or if they break, and you have other statues made of stone next to them, your statues will be infested with silverfish. Maybe you like the thought of that maybe your statues have a silverfish disease, but I would recommend against using silverfish blocks. So, and obviously things that furnish houses like bookshelves, don't use those on statues. Also, I shouldn't have to say this. It should be, you know, a given, but use whole blocks. You know, that goes for this too. This is kind of, you know, redundant to use a half slab because you want whole blocks to fill up your statue, and plus stone slabs don't look very well. And the only, you know, other slabs here they end up being whole blocks anyway that you would use. So I mean, it's kind of redundant using a half slab. These, for the texture, they're really bad. Like I said, you know, texture's really bad. The black spots, you could use it as a form of white, but the black spots, they pop out more than anything. It makes it look like a big cow. I mean, if you're making a cow, then it might be fine. But I mean, otherwise, birch wood is not very good. Use glowstone to decorate, not to, you know, decorate around it, to light up your statue, not to, you know, use it on it. I've seen people who put it underneath the necks, underneath the heads. That's okay. Perfectly fine. These... texture, this is the texture, you know, these, they just pop out, especially like this one. This one pops out really bad. This one was bad before. We used this a couple times, but like out of reluctance. We really did not like using netherrack. We actually used netherrack before we got nether brick, and after we got nether brick, oh my gosh, it was like the saving grace to netherrack, because we hated netherrack. We hated using it. Like, it looked okay at first, but after we made a bunch of statues and we got really really nitpicky about them, then this was just like a hated enemy. Like, we hated netherrack. And if we had to use it, we were like, oh god, netherrack again. You know, like, we have to use it. So, don't use netherrack. Not worth it. Hey, same reason. It's got the orange around it. It's going to pop more. It's going to pop out, you know, if you're trying to use it for the yellow. And then, so these have a different rule. One, their textures do kind of pop out, but they're see-through. That's the problem with them. Leaves, like, we actually tried using leaves and ice before, but the problem with them is that they're see-through. I know what you're thinking. Well, if you put the color behind them, it might look a little bit better. Well, it doesn't, because it's in the dark, and, you know, it doesn't look very right. Especially because you can still see through it. It doesn't matter if something's behind it. You know, in the dark, you can still see the holes and, like, the shadow, like the darkness, it still comes through. You can see it's not all, the whole color. And so, it doesn't look very good. So, just use leaves for bushes. And use ice for skating rinks. I mean, just leave them to that. Don't, you know, use them for statues. And these things, I don't even think I should even get into them. Like, they're just, these are all material blocks. And these are redstone blocks. Obviously, the textures on them, just, they're not worth it. Do not use them. These aren't even whole blocks. I mean, they have, like, things on either side of them. So, like, if someone makes a statue out of freaking enchantment tables, I will facepalm so hard. Do not send me pictures. You will probably send me pictures now that I say don't send me pictures. Do not send me pictures of enchantment table statues. I don't even know how that would work. Like, I don't even think you could stack enchantment tables on top of one another. You can't. You can't unless you go through a really, like, mundane method of stacking them over and over, and then it's just stupid and annoying. Don't do it. Don't ever use enchantment tables. Don't ever use any of these things. None of these things look good on statues. I think one time we ended up using bricks for something, and it instantly got changed when we got stained red clay when that came out. So but yeah, I think we accidentally used bricks on one thing, like one time that I remember, and like, but yeah. So these are the materials you want to use, and these are the materials you do not want to use. So that is it for the 5th part. Now I'm just gonna go to an outro. I'm gonna cut to an outro, and we will finish this video, guys. We'll finish this video. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out a lot. I hope you've learned now how to go through things. I'll do a quick recap of everything. Here we learned the dimensions, the forever dimensions. They will always remain the same. Here we learned about hat effects, how they only come out one and they can come out on either side. We also learned about the detailing of heads, how they can be different on every single side, or they can be the same. Sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're not. Came over here to detailing, where we talked about dual planing, and how to focus on the front and the back instead of the sides. Also that the both sides of the legs were exactly the same, and the arms were exactly the same all the way around. And then finally, over here, because the first tier wasn't very important, it was just visualizing the 3 different sections. Here, we talked about the important materials and the not so important materials. So, right now, I am going to do a quick little discussion of the advanced methods. So advanced techniques and stuff, these things not recommended. just because, you know, especially if you're starting out. And these advanced methods are, like I said, I don't have visuals for these things. I'm just going to talk about them. So there's like advanced dimensions and advanced detailing. So advanced dimensions, you can easily see it right here. It's just like these extra effects. All right, like on the head, like where, you know, the horns are the so-called hat effect. These are not one. They come out way farther than one, and the tongue goes way lower than one. He's also got a backpack. You know, he's got this thing on his back. These things that are on the, you know, like the torso and the legs. These are things that we are referring to as body modifications or body mods. You can call them body effects if you want. If it helps make it easier. But calling them body mods is, I think, a little bit cooler. It sounds a lot like more impressive. It makes you sound like you have a vocabulary. But we can go through some of these that are like really wicked. I just want to go back to here. I like the second birthday skin pack because it has a lot of really good examples. So you can see like on Conquer, like the body mod is like the tail. You know, on these Viva Pinatas, it's their back. You can even see like on their head how it comes out. You know, 3 instead of just 1. Like this guy, he has huge ears and a huge tail. You know, the fox one or whatever, and it's just, you know, Lucky's skin. He's got Kazooie on his back. He's got a whole backpack, like another entity of something on him, and like his face comes out and everything. You know, ears come up. Like the hat effect is definitely ignored here, and the whole, you know, thing about the body not having any other extrusions coming from it, that's completely ignored too. So yeah, usually I don't think I mentioned this. I didn't mention this. Usually the bodies don't have any other dimensions coming off of them, but with these more, you know, things that ignore that rule, these do. Same thing with the legs, how you know, it's smaller than that, where it's only, the legs are only 2 by 2. They're still 4 thick, but they're only 2 by 2. You know, you have that body hanging off on either side, and it's got a space in the middle of it. Her hat is huge. The Grunt's backpack is, you know, his air supply, that's huge. Spartan's armor is obviously coming off of it. It's huge. The hats are obviously coming off of it, way more than one. So, I mean, excuse me, guys. So, you can obviously see that the advanced dimensions just ignore the normal rules. And the same thing goes for advanced detailing. I like using this one because it's got a perfect example right here. Remember how I really hinged on how both arms were exactly the same? Well, this guy has completely different arms and different legs. You can see that on one leg he's got like a pouch, and on, you know, the same side he's got like this super arm. On the other side he just has a normal arm, and then on, you know, on the leg he's got just nothing. You know, he's got no other pouch or anything coming off the side of him, and that's a body modification too. It's a body mod because like the pouch is coming off on the side too, and the shoulder is coming off on the side as well. So, and the hair is coming out more than one in the back, so that's like a super hat effect. So things like that, there's no real way to show how to do it because Xbox skins and I believe PlayStation skins now, they get really wild as well. You won't, or at least you shouldn't, for the time being, see PC skins get this wild and this complex. So, the most that I know has been done to PC skins is stuff like this, where both arms may not be the same. I mean, not the face, obviously, because the face is a little bit out of this world. I mean, he does look like an alien. He probably is an alien. I think he is an alien. But stuff like this on PC Minecraft, where you can see like both arms are different. That's something that's available now, as well as body modifications, like the one that I like, showing an example for this as far as PC goes, is Black Widow here. You can see like on her wrists, see how it comes out one, and it's only on her wrists. Like she doesn't have a hat effect, a body mod anywhere else. It's literally only on her wrists, right there. So stuff like that can only come out one on the body, or I assume the legs. This is just what I've been told. I've been informed by Epic. I have not tried this out yet, mostly because I've been very content with my skin on PC, and plus I don't get on as often, so I haven't seen some of the new stuff. I should get on eventually, and I will. I will get on PC Minecraft after so long. I've just been using my computer for editing or writing papers, but so that's the that's a little bit more into the advanced dimensioning, I guess, but the advanced detailing as well, where it ignores the whole both arms being the same and both legs having the same on both sides. But you have to start somewhere, so start with these basics, everyone, and build upon them. Like I said, if you want to go back and check them out, I'll leave a timetable in it so you can learn. If you need to go back to something and rewatch something again, maybe I explained it horribly or horrifically, I'm sorry if I explained anything bad. I tried to make this as intricate and as slow and easy to understand as possible, just because I know I have a lot of experience with this stuff, and I know what looks good, what doesn't look good, what the dimensions are. I've built hundreds of statues over the past couple years with my very good friends, people I like to call my family of NTP, and we have had we started out not knowing anything, just like you guys. We started out just like this. If you came into this video not knowing anything at all, that's where we were a long time ago, years ago. We didn't know what we were doing, and it was literally by starting with stuff like this, like Steve, we learned over time how to make statues, and we're like the state we're in today is we're making completely custom stuff that looks out of this world and awesome to us, like completely custom stuff that doesn't follow any of these rules. It's just like to our own liking. So we're making it ourselves, and we're doing YouTube with it. So, and you could be doing the same thing. You could practice and make these things, and you can make them, and you can maybe start doing videos yourself, and have a big world and show it off to the world, and do what we're doing. So, but for your final test, guys, one test, it's your turn to do Steve. Alright, I'm not building it for you. I'm just going to do what I would normally do during a tutorial. Right? I'm just going to show you the sides and the head and everything, and it's up to you to build it. So this is your like initiation, your final test. This is like the the test out of college. I don't know if that's really a thing, but maybe, I don't know. This is just like your initiation, right, into the brand new world of making statues. There you go. That's a great way to look at it. This is your initiation statue, Steve. Everyone has to start with Steve, or everyone has to make Steve at some point. Steve is a simple little guy that anyone can make, and that I'm pretty sure he's been made like 1,000 times. So, all right. Like I said, I'm only gonna. I'm not. Well, I will tell you the materials. So here's just blue and gray. All right. I'll tell you the materials, but I'm only gonna give you enough time to pause it. All right, and then build it from there. You guys should know the dimensions and stuff. So, blue and gray again. You guys should know the dimensions and stuff, and understand how these things work. Also, you can see my dog. He's right there. He's photobombing. I know, forgive him. He's a, I don't know why he's there. He just spawned there. So, blue and gray again. And, of course, that side, you should know by now. This body, wooden plank, oak wood planks, cyan and blue. 3 colors or materials, I guess. Over here to this arm. Oak wood planks and cyan. There you go. Come around to the back. Same colors as we had with the front. Blue, cyan, and oak wood planks. And as you should know, that arm is the same as the other. So, moving on to the face. Hair's brown. Skin's oak wood planks. Mouth is wood, or oak wood. Eyes are blue. Other half of the eyes are white. You're not going to get any more video-like than that. Hair's brown. Skin is oak wood planks. So there's this side. Here's the back. Same colors or materials. Oak wood planks and brown. There you go. There's that. And then here's the other side, which is actually the same, if you remember from before. So then it's oak wood planks and brown. Alright? And never forget, few things, never forget to fill in the top of the head, and never forget to fill in the bottom of the hands. I say this only because one of our members, 1 shot 2 kills, he would always forget to fill in the bottom of the hands, oh, and the bottom of the head. Always forget to fill in this stuff too. Alright? these parts of the neck, don't forget to fill them in. Just this line right here. You can get caught up with the other, with building the other stuff, so don't forget to fill all that in and close them off. So it's just like nothing but air on the inside of him. There's no place where you could just like fly in or something to get into him. He's tightly closed off. So that, if you've gotten Steve done, then congratulations, guys. You have now like taken your first step into making statues. So wherever you go from here is up to you. You can make your own. You can make massive worlds. Obviously you can make them yourself by this point, or you can even start doing YouTube. Practice makes perfect, guys. That's the one thing I can tell you without a definitive doubt, is that when it comes to statues, it literally just takes practice. You get enough practice in there, and you can make hundreds, just like we have. Like, we have a world full of, I don't even know how many at this point. I have no idea. We have, like, just a billion statues in a world, full of layers and layers of glass, and, like, all these different things, like, different sections everywhere. It's a cool world, and it's fun to have a world like that. And like I said at the very beginning, too, anyone can do this, guys. Anyone can make these things, Anyone can make statues. Anyone can. So that's what makes it so much fun. So I think that's a good note to go off on, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I really hope you learned something. It was a pleasure to teach you. If you want to come back, come back. If you don't, if you want to go out on your own, I understand. So it's a pleasure teaching you, and I really hope you learned something. Hope this was a good tutorial for you. If it wasn't, I apologize. I will try to do better next time. But I think I did a pretty good job with this one, despite all the mouth stuff screwing up on me. My mouth decided to do whatever it wants. So, but that's it, guys. So thank you for watching. As always, I will see you for the next one.